We're going to add a wood texture to our floor in this tutorial. I've got a polygon surface and I'm going to select it. I'm going to right click and I'm going to choose Assign New Material. Arnold AI Standard Surface. I'm going to go to the Color tab under Base and I'll click on the checkerboard pattern and I'll add the checkerboard pattern to my surface. I'm going to select the surface, and much the same way we adjusted the texture on our outlet, I'm going to use Planar Mapping. I'll do that by holding down the space bar, going to UV, Planar Mapping, and I'm going to the attribute. Now, because it's a flat surface like a floor or top of a table, that would be the y-axis. I'll click on Y and I'll hit Apply. I'm going to close out the Planar Mapping options and I'm going to go to my channels window. And if I look at my channels window, there is now a term called projection width and height. I just want to make them both the same number, leave them both at 19. I'm going to go to my dock and I'm going to click on the UV texture editor icon. It's the green box with the checkerboard inside. The UV map for my floor now will appear on the inside of that. I'm going to scale it to fit inside the checkerboard. It's a little bit too big right now. I'm going to make sure that I'm in my object mode. Then I'll right click inside the UV texture editor and I'll choose UV shell. I'll click on it, hit R for my scale tool, and scale it to fit inside the checkerboard inside the UV editor. I'm going to right click on my geometry in my viewport and go back to the object mode. I'll deselect and select again. In the UV editor, I'll now go to Image, and the very last choice is UV Snapshot. I'm going to direct it to my folder and I'm going to make sure that my image format is a PNG and I've set the size for 1024 by 1024. I'll click on Apply. We'll now go into Photoshop and we'll develop the texture on the UV map that was just generated inside the UV editor. I'm now in Photoshop. I've opened up the PNG that I generated inside of Maya. It's consisting of a thin box and an alpha channel. I'm now going to copy and paste a wood pattern I got online into the PNG that was generated inside of Maya. I'll go to Select All, Command A, Command C to copy, and then I'll go to the PNG and I'll hit Command V to paste. Now at this point, it's very subjective on how many times you want it to repeat, the size of the floor, etc. That is all choices that you would make on your own. I've repeated the pattern of the wood floor and what I'd like it to be. I'm going to make sure that I've saved this as a PSD. And now I'm going to go into Maya. I'm going to right click on the floor surface and I'm going to go to Material Attribute. And in the Material Attribute, I'm going to right click over the word Color. You can see when you look at the very edge, the far right hand side of the Color tab, there is a box with an arrow head in it or a triangle. I'm going to right click on the word Color. I'm going to choose Break Connection. Now I'm going to go back out through the checkerboard. Once again, I'll go to File as if I'm importing a texture. Next to Image Name, I'll click on the yellow folder and I'll go out and I'll get that PSD floor. And there's my texture.